So if my husband sees this, how about you be the one to bring it up? How about for once you communicate openly and honestly? Just curious if you even can. So I have recently come across my husband's account here. I felt for a long time there's been something off in our relationship. Never able to put a precise finger on it. And also, I do struggle with depression, which I know distorts your perception. I have rationalized to myself for years, if he doesn't love me, he'd have left by now. I must be imagining things, it's just my depression talking. Well, now I found his account, and I finally have the real answers he has never been willing to provide in the entire 20+ years we've been together. He's been posting on Reddit about limerence, about his feelings for another woman, but there's so much more than even just that. The woman is someone he briefly dated in the summer he was 19. We started dating soon after she ended their relationship, but I now learned there were times he still carried on a fling with her while we were together. They also kept in touch periodically on social media since social media became a thing. That is, until just last month, when apparently he confessed all of his feelings to her. After 20 fucking years, he dumped that on her out of the blue. She was freaked out because they'd mainly talked about work, and he was never more than a casual acquaintance to her. Who would have thought? She told him off for involving her in his one-sided emotional affair and blocked him. Since that, he's been obsessively writing on the limerence Reddit to the point of thinking things she posts on a page for her business are indirect, veiled messages to him. And also Reddit's about divorce. That's the second huge blow I'm dealing with. He is just desperate to get rid of me, and the only reasons he has not yet divorced me are his faith, not wanting to lose our children, and how expensive it would be for him, according to the divorce lawyer he apparently had a secret consultation with. But let's look at reality now. Meanwhile, I have tried for years to get him to communicate better, be closer with each other, because he always seemed to hold himself at a distance. I gave up after years of trying. He never changed, and I realized he didn't care enough to. So I've stopped caring too. I do my own thing, or sometimes try to get him involved, to which I'm quickly reminded why I gave up. He'll have very brief periods after an argument of being more affectionate to give me hope that never lasts. He has never cared to support me emotionally. Reading him writing about how cripplingly depressed he is over this bullshit when he has blown off my clinical depression as laziness for years was really the cherry on top. His comment history is also full of passive-aggressive comments about things I do that make this a crap marriage for him, and I'm just like, how else should I spend my time when not working or doing stuff with the kids, when my own husband has no interest in doing anything other couples do together? I didn't start doing those things to the extent I do now until I gave up on him to be the romantic partner I thought I was maybe unfairly wanting him to be. I eventually thought this is simply the type of person he is. Some people are more reserved and unromantic. As his wife, I need to accept him. I'm a big girl. I can occupy my time in ways that don't depend on him. But now, to find out everything, it's actually because he has been pining over someone he dated for a couple months at 19, chose to instead string me along, marry me, have 2 kids with me, countless other life events, then put the blame for our lack of quality time and intimacy on me all, while he's the one dreaming of someone else and avoiding reality every single day? Why would someone do this? It doesn't make any sense. He never loved me. I am nothing more than a 20-year-long failed rebound. I can't express how emotional and obsessive he is when he's writing about this. He has never shown an inkling of real passion with me, at least not since our very early relationship. He is stoic and irritable and closed off, and his post-argument attempts at bonding are painfully hollow. I've wondered almost the whole relationship why this is lacking, wondering if I'm the problem, if my expectations were too Disney fairy tale or something. To find out he does have deep, real feelings, and they are all reserved for someone he hasn't even seen in real life since half his lifetime ago, who he was still seeing after getting together with me, is, well, like I said, I probably knew deep in my gut he wasn't invested in me, but oh my God. I just never imagined something like this. At most, I wondered about him not being in love with me anymore, or at worst, some normal affair like with a coworker or dating apps. Not a secret, unreciprocated obsession spanning 20 years that's completely in his own head. I'm devastated, but also almost scared in some way. I don't know why. He has a whole folder of photos of her that he looks at every day. There's pages and pages of his Reddit history. Who does that? I feel like I married a stranger. Between this and his general reluctance to really open up about pretty much anything personal, did I ever actually know him? Here is the crux of my problem now that I know all of this. Do you even bother talking to someone who kept this type of secret for this amount of time? What can talking accomplish? Will it make him get over whatever his problem is? Will it make him love me? Is there any realistic, plausible outcome that would make it actually worth my time and energy to have a conversation before jumping to divorce? Please tell me if so, and I'm happy to hear you out. But I've ignored my gut for too long, and it's telling me no. Can I simply tell him, I saw your Reddit posts. Let's get the divorce you want. Would that be unfair to our children to not give us an opportunity to work it out? He'll say he's sacrificed everything for us. Would it be unfair to him? Seeing the sheer victim complex in his posts, both about the woman and with how he blames me acting like I've constantly wronged him in our marriage, what if I plain don't want to deal with trying to break through that delusion in order to have a chance at being understood? I am thoroughly disgusted, in shock, and at the same time feel like I can finally let go for good. The gaping void between us is clear as day, and I finally see it was not because of me. That failure wasn't because I just hadn't managed yet to say the right things that would reach something inside of him and inspire a stronger connection between us. And it certainly wasn't because I'm on my phone. It was always because of him from the very beginning. What if I don't want to ask any questions or discuss a single thing with him? What if I just want to be free? So if my husband sees this, how about you be the one to bring it up? How about for once you communicate openly and honestly? Just curious if you even can. My limerent object and I had a summer fling back in college when I went home. But when I went back to school, she said she couldn't do the distance. A few months later, I started dating my significant other. But during the summer, my LO and I would hang out and sometimes kiss. After a while, I started noticing red flags in my SO. But I ignored them because my SO is the only person I ever slept with, and I thought I had to stay with them. I remember a conversation I had with a friend of both my LO and I. She asked me who I liked more. In my heart, I wanted to say my LO. But I told my SO because we've been together for some time at that point. It was after that conversation my LO and I stopped talking for 18 years. I've been limerent for my LO for 20 years. We were in NC for about 18 years until she messaged me 2 years ago, and we talked daily. She's a therapist and a Christian, and I'm in a crappy marriage which she knew about. I disclosed last month, told her everything, my feelings, what limerence is since most therapists don't know what it is, answered any questions she had. She asked for some time to process everything. A week later, I got an email from her saying she doesn't want to be friends anymore and doesn't think we should be in contact anymore. She said I put her unknowingly in an emotional affair and she wouldn't be part of that. She then blocked me on social media, and I've been in hell ever since. So in my case, opening up did not repair the connection. It severed it completely. I regret disclosing. My LO is single. At least she was back when I last talked to her. I hate how pathetic limerence has made me. So usually the only time I get distracted enough to stop thinking of my LO is at work. Today, I had to go visit a client at their office. We had a meeting in their conference room. Turns out they named their conference rooms after towns in my state. And of course, the one we meet at is the one named where my LO lives, and she doesn't live in a big town. At this point, I think God is just playing a cruel joke, because as soon as I saw that, I almost broke down. Luckily, I held it in and did my work like I was supposed to. But if that really messed with my head. Now I'm sitting here just pathetically thinking about her again, and I hate this. I hate this limerence. I hate that I have no peace. It's officially 1 month since my LO said she doesn't want to be friends after I disclosed, and now being in NC. I did something that some people advise and wrote a letter. But since I wrote it on my phone, I can't burn it. So I'll post it here, and maybe that will help so at least I know I sent it. I cut off people I thought were my friends who hurt me. I know I caused you hurt and confusion, so I guess I can't blame you. But damn it, if that didn't hurt seeing you blocked me. I guess it just sucks that after these feelings for 20 years, and for the past 2 years, talking to you almost every day, it's over. I'll never speak to you again. I honestly wish I just had one more chance to talk to you because I know exactly what I would say. I'd tell you I'm sorry. I'm sorry for any hurt I caused you telling you my feelings. I'm sorry that you felt like I unknowingly put you in an emotional affair. I honestly didn't know what that was until your email. I thought affairs involved 2 people. But I did some research after your email, and you were right, and I'm sorry. You're the last person I wanted to hurt, so I'm sorry. I guess that's all I can say. Goodbye. It's officially past midnight, so I can say I officially did something I haven't done in years. I haven't looked at a picture of my LO. When we used to talk, she would send me pictures of her. Nothing sexual or anything like that. Just her smiling. I've kept those pictures, and when I look at them, it puts a smile on my face. Today, for the first time in years, I didn't go looking for those pictures. That's not to say I didn't think of her. I thought about her a lot today. I know some people on this subreddit will just say to delete those pictures. I can't, not yet. I know it's strange, but I just don't have the strength yet to delete them. For now, I'll just see if I can repeat this step again. My LO is a therapist, and she has her own practice. When we used to talk, I tried to help her with her social media. I told her she needed to post more on her Facebook page since she only did it once every few months. She didn't listen since she really isn't a social media person. Some context for the next part. I disclosed to her back in November, and she blocked me in December and have been NC ever since. Fast forward to this week. I still follow her business page, and she's made 3 posts this week, which is strange for her. All of these posts were about one topic: boundaries. The one from today really got to me. It said that something along the lines of, boundaries mean you love yourself, even if you disappoint others. Maybe it's the limerence, but with these posts, I feel like she's talking about me. It's just strange to me that she doesn't post on there at all, then all of a sudden she's posting almost daily about something she did to me. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this. All I know is I miss her and wish I could talk to her again, even if it's just as friends. I've been married for 15 years with 2 kids. Over the past few years, I've been really unhappy in my marriage. My wife graduated college before me, so she moved back to her hometown to get a job, a really rural area. Naturally, when I left college, I followed and got a job in a bigger city near us. But for what I do, I really need to be in bigger cities. I've told my wife this, but she doesn't listen. We built our house on part of land her family owns, so now we live on the same street as her family. It's become a real problem in our marriage. My in-laws like to butt in on things that don't concern them, especially when it comes to disciplining our kids. At home, my wife barely talks to me. When she gets home, she takes about an hour nap, then claims she's too tired to cook. So nearly every night, I have to go get us something to eat. I've even offered to cook, but my wife has refused. So that puts a strain on our finances. When dinner is done, she is usually on her phone, shopping for crap we don't need. But when she's with her family, she talks all the time to them. Sex is basically non-existent. We use some sexual stuff maybe once a month. But it's only when she's in the mood. When I ask, I get shut down or ignored. I've given up everything so she could have the safe, boring life she wanted, and it's put a strain on my mental health. But every time I want to do something for me, she complains or acts annoyed. Everything I've mentioned, I've brought up several times over the years. We usually have about 2 big arguments every year. She keeps promising to change, but she never does. The only 2 reasons I'm still in this marriage is because I'm a Christian and my kids. But my mental health can't take this anymore. Am I being selfish or what? 2 things have happened recently that make me question getting a divorce. The first is consulting with an attorney. He was very blunt, which I appreciated. But he suggested that I try counseling first. Because it's going to be very expensive between fees and child support. I'll probably have to pay. Honestly, I don't think counseling will help, and I really don't want to. The second was last night. I was picking up my daughter from a party, and she said that my wife told her that I act like I don't love her anymore. This is true, but I had to lie to my daughter. My daughter then said she'd be devastated if we got a divorce. As much as I want to leave my wife, I don't think I can do that to my kids. I know a lot of people stay together for the kids. It looks like I might have to as well. I'm still debating on getting divorced. But I just came to a realization tonight. I like to play video games. I have a group of gaming friends, but I honestly don't play much anymore because when I do, my wife gets mad. Either because she says I'm too loud or I'm not spending time with her. So when I want to play, I have to ask her if she's cool with it. However, she'll make plans and do shit all the time without consulting me. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the one having to walk on eggshells so she doesn't get upset. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Not gonna lie, divorce has crossed my mind. Only 2 reasons I stay is because technically I don't have a biblical reason, as well as my kids. This is the one reason I'm hesitant about divorce. Because I know I'll get screwed over because of my kids. Even a lawyer I did a free consultation with said that I'll be paying child support without even really diving deep into my case. That shows how messed up and sexist the courts are to fathers. I honestly wish that I could leave my wife and be with my LO. My marriage is shitty. We're basically just roommates. We don't even sleep in the same bed. The only reason I'm still in it is because of my kids. I guess I'm selfish, but I can't stand being without them. And to be quite honest, we have a sexist justice system when it comes to divorce that sees the dad as less important than the mom. So I know I'll lose. I love my kids so much that I couldn't imagine being apart from them. Plus, financially, even if I were to get divorced, I probably could afford a studio apartment, and that's not good for them when they would come to my place. So for now, I'm staying. But I try my best to hide my unhappiness from my kids. But my eldest has picked up on some of it. So I have to lie to her so she doesn't get upset. It sucks, but if it makes them happier, I guess I'll stay. Where I'm at, you have to be separated for a year before you can finalize your divorce. I'd use that year to actually have time for myself, something I hadn't had since I was 19.